So at the beginning, my opponent mentioned Hitler and taking away the guns. So we need guns to keep us agile from the rise of the next Hitler. And he said that something about, he said cars cause death shoes and we need to do something about it. Well, we did. Like drunk driving deaths and crashes. In 1973, the percentage of drivers that were killed by alcohol was 7.5%. So they put in laws like stricter blood alcohol levels, rise the drinking age, ramp up enforcement penalties, charge bartenders that serve drunks, and launch public awareness campaigns to see that all the bad things that happen to drunk drivers. And we do that because it takes down the percentage from the deaths of 7.5% in 1973 to 2.2% in 2007. And I know some laws don't work, but we can do a lot better than what we have now, and which is laws enable to inspect gun dealers' inventories, bills making it harder to put disturbed individuals on do not buy lists, and gun makers having any legal accountability for their products. And she mentioned the Second Amendment, which we do have the right to bear arms. But you have to remember, the Second Amendment was made in 1776, and their greatest weapon was a musket. So, okay, you can have all the muskets you want. Put a grip on it, make an assault musket, gas it up with a bayonet, go nuts. Have as many bayonets as you want. Oh yeah, and here's some things we can do. Have assault weapons available just at firing ranges. Make creative sound editing so shooting guns doesn't sound cool. Next time you shoot a gun, sound like this. No one wants to kill someone with a sound like that. I'm just saying. And have movies not so cool so young people won't want to shoot a gun. The next James Bond movie stars Art Cheney. How about that? And those are just some ways.
Okay, let me just say, over the last 20 years, crime rate has decreased by 50% and murder rate has also decreased by over 54%. And my Will said something about how England, how they ban guns. Well, the England and Wales population is 56 million. The violent crime offenses in 2011 were 762,515, a ratio of 1,361 violent crimes per 100,000, which is more than 3.5 times the violent crime rate in the United States. So their murder rate is lower, but less guns does not necessarily mean less violent crimes. And, so guns aren't, like, as I was saying before, other things kill people. The biggest mass killings in the U.S. history have used bombs, like Bath, Michigan, fire, like Happy Land nightclub, or airliners. There is no law that you can pass, you can say or do, which will make some not evil. Like, you can't ban airplanes. Also, magazines. So, first of all, if somebody's in your house, it's like you're going to miss, it's going to happen. So you may be able to shoot good at like a shooting range, but it's like if there's some dude breaking in your house, you don't know whether he's going to murder you or not. Like, you're going to probably miss. You're pumped up on adrenaline, and you're probably like shaking. So, and you never hear somebody come out of something like that survived a gunfight and then said afterwards, darn, I wish I hadn't brought all that ammo. Also, the last assault weapons ban capped capacities at 10 rounds. You quickly realize 10 rounds stinks when you take a wound ballistics class. So then there's these guys that are drug-addled, prison-hardened perpetrators who soak up 5, 7, 9, even 15 bullets and still walk under their own power to the ambulance. That's not uncommon. Also, the week of the Sandy Hook shooting, there were 2 other shootings in the U.S. In Oregon, not a gun-free zone, a shooter was confronted by a permit holder. The shooter committed suicide with only a few casualties. In Texas, also not a gun-free zone, shooter killed immediately by an off-duty cop, only a few casualties. And then there's Connecticut, a gun-free zone, Shooter kills until the people arrive, and then commits suicide, leaving 26 dead. So, yeah.
I want to comment on one thing that
You have 2 minutes to finish.
Okay. So if you want a country that has an astonishing number of gun deaths to increase, then have no gun control and have any clip size that you want to any person. But if you want to try to slow this epidemic down, we need to put in mandatory background checks, limit the kind of guns you can buy, and limit magazine sizes. So, but, you know, in the Connecticut shooting, like, there wasn't a police officer on guard, so the only thing that could stop it was a police officer. So, but a police officer with a principal with a pistol isn't going to stop a man with an assault rifle and a bulletproof vest. Like, I don't think Mr. Cheney looks as cool as you think he does. I don't think he could have done that. And if we limit the kind of guns you can buy and we limit the sizes, magazine sizes, like I'm not against limiting the magazines you can buy. I'm just limiting the number of bullets you can have. And if we do all this, maybe we can slow this bad epidemic down.
Thomas Jefferson once said, "When governments fear the people, there is liberty. When people fear the government, there is tyranny. The strongest reason for the people to retain the right to keep and bear arms is as a last resort to protect themselves against tyranny and government." This was from one of our founding fathers. For goodness sake, he signed the Constitution himself. If we can't believe him, why don't we believe the Bible? Exodus 22:2 tells us, "If a thief is found breaking in, he is struck so that he dies, there shall be no guilt for his bloodshed." That pretty much says if somebody breaks into your house at midnight and you don't know whether he's going to kill you or steal all your money, we shouldn't feel guilty about shooting him. Luke 22:36 says, "But now he who has a money bag, let him take it, and likewise a sack. And he who has no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one." Keep in mind that the sword was the finest defensive weapon available to an individual soldier, the equivalent then to a military rifle today. While Christ told Peter to put your sword in its place, he clearly did not say to get rid of it forever. That would have contradicted what he had told his disciples only hours before. Peter's sword was to protect his own life and was not needed to protect the creator of the universe. Just remember this, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He never changes his mind on anything. In closing, when 15,000 law enforcement professionals were polled, 71% say that an assault weapon ban would have zero impact on violent crimes, and 97% say that a high-capacity magazine ban would also have zero impact, zero as in no effect. The average number of people shot in a mass shooting event when the shooter is stopped by law enforcement is 14, while the average number of people shot in a mass shooting event when the shooter is stopped by civilians is 2.5. Additionally, 80% of the law enforcement professionals agreed that casualties at Sandy Hook Elementary would have likely been reduced if legally armed citizens had been around the school.